YouTube viewers out there. I'm your host, Sebastian of Sebastian's Movie Game Time. On today's episode 23, I'm going to take all you YouTube viewers out there back in time, what I call the 1990s, at a time where we didn't have no cell phones. We didn't have streaming like Max, Hulu, Prime Video, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Netflix, or other movie platform services. We didn't have all that back in the 90s. What we had home phone cords with answering machines. That's what we have. We have video stores like Blockbuster Video, Hollywood Video, um, and there were we had great music songs. I mean, I know today's music's it's good by younger artists today, but the 90s had great music songs. I mean, every band from the 90s you can think of. Grunge, alternative rock, um, you know, um, and so on episode 23 today, like I said, I'm going to take all you viewers out there back in time with me, the 90s, because I'm from the 90s. I was born 1990, so I was a little kid. I was a little kid, child, from when I was like 91 to 92, 93. I was like, but I didn't see any movies because I was like a little kid. I didn't see movies at the time when I was little. But I began to see movies when I was like maybe like 4 or 5 years old. I start watching movies from the 90s, much as I can. Anyways, so I'm gonna talk about the 90s and how I'm from the 90s, and I have a lot of VHS. I'm not sure you know about this, but I owned and have hundreds and tons of VHS tapes because I have a VCR machine, and even now I watch VHS tape in my VCR machine now. It's not the best video quality, but I manage. It still works, and it match still hold. I think pretty good to myself. I have owned tons of 100 VHS tapes. I mean, because VHS tapes was like the thing we had in the 90s. So I'm gonna be talking about and reviewing movies of the 90s. Oh, actually, the decent movies of the 90s that I've seen. So, and all these decent movies of the 90s, I'm going to talk about. I have some of these on VHS tapes. So let's get started, shall we? And because it's the 90s, I'm not going to only talk about movies from the 90s, but I'm going to talk about what are my favorite music songs from the 90s as well. So let's get started, shall we? Well, first off, I'm going to talk about a few music songs that I liked hearing from the 90s, and I have a red MP3 player that holds songs, and I have a lot of 90s songs in my MP3 player. So here we go. We have this is 1990, early beginning of the 90s. 1990, we have a CD called Goo. It's by a British band called Sonic Youth. And there's a song from that CD album by Sonic Youth. It's called Cool Thing. I ranked this song 2 out of 3 stars. Oh, you know what? When I'm thinking about all these songs for the night, I'm not gonna rank them because I think it's good. So here we go. So we have 1990s album CD hit called Go. It's pronounced Goo. So it's like goo, or I just say Go. It's performed by the British band called Sonic Youth, and they sing that song from that CD called Cool Thing. I like I like the song Cool Thing. I think it has like a cool, British song to it. I give the song 2 out of 3 stars of rating. We have World Click or Click by Delate. They sing that song. Grew Groove is in the Heart. That's a cool party song. I give that song 2 out of 3 stars. Groove is in the Heart, if you never heard about it. We have we have a CD called Porno Graffiti by a band called Extreme. Oh, and they sing one of great songs, a one hit wonder song that I really like that they did. It's called More Than Words. Oh, if you never heard that song More Than Words by the band Extreme, oh, it's a very nice song. Really, really. I give that song 3 out of 3 stars. I love the song so much. It's great. And okay, now we move on to 1990 decent movies. So let's get started, shall we? We have Presumed Innocent. It's about a lawyer who has an affair with a colleague, and then finds himself being accused and framed for her murder. And for that movie, he's trying to prove his innocent. The lawyer's trying to prove himself that is he innocent or guilty. Um, it stars Harrison Ford, um, Greta Sachi, Raul Julia, Brian Denny, and Bonnie Bedelia, from who played John McClane's wife in the first Die Hard movie. I give Presumed Innocent 2 out of 3 stars. Next, we have Hard to Kill, a second action film that stars action icon Steven Seagal. Well, in Hard to Kill, he plays a detective who's been gunned down by corruption, ruthless politicians, and his henchmen. And years later, his character wakes up from a coma, and he gets back his fighting skills, strengths back as he goes out and smoke out the people or the person responsible for him that they shot him dead, and he comes back for revenge all these years later. It's Hard to Kill. It stars Steven Seagal, Kelly Lee Brock. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, Steven Seagal and Kelly Lee Brock. I give Hard to Kill 2 out of 3 stars. There were some good action scenes in it. We have State of Grace. It's about a New York cop who goes undercover as to infiltrate the mob that his best friends ran by his best friend and his best friend's brother. It's a crime thriller drama movie, State of Grace. It stars Sean Penn, Ed Harris, Gary Oldman, John Turturro, John C. Reilly, Burgess Meredith, and Robin Wright. 2 out of 3 stars of State of Grace. Oh, but I do like the shootout. There's a cool, brutal shootout at the end of the State of Grace movie. Oh, that scene, that climax shootout scene at the end of the State of Grace movie, it's literally, to me, one of the best. I think I rank it as one of the great, brutal, just brutal, violent shootouts. It's great how it's filmed and shot. It's really, really intense, and it's one of those endings that you want to root for the main character at the end of the movie. It's one of those endings that you want to root for. Cheer. I give State of Grace 2 out of 3 stars, like I said. We have Ghost. It's about a man who was killed, and his spirit stays behind to protect his girlfriend from the people who murdered him. It's a romantic thriller movie mixed with a little suspense at the same time. It stars Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, Whoopi Goldberg, and Tony Goodwin. I give Ghost 2 out of 3 stars. There were some good scenes I thought. There were scary and at times intense moment scenes. So we have Navy SEALs. It's about a group of battle-hardened team called Navy SEALs who's on a mission to destroy a shipment of nuclear missiles and to infiltrate the bad guys that's hiding and destroy all the bad guys that they haven't. I give Navy SEALs 2 out of 3 stars. It stars Charlie Sheen, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton, and Dennis Haysbert. Um, um, we have Child's Play 2. It's the second installment of the second Child's Play movie. It's about Andy Barkley, who's been taken in by a foster care, by foster parents. And then because Andy Barkley, it's a Child's Play movie. You know, Chucky, the good guy, killer doll. He tracks down Andy at this foster home and begins more mayhem trying to get to Andy Barkley like he tried to do in the first Child's Play movie, Chucky the Killer Good Guy doll. I give Child's Play 2 2 out of 3 stars. It stars the voice of Brad Dorff as the voice of Chucky, um, Alex Vincent as Andy Barkley, and Christine Else as his foster sister. Kyle, I believe, is the character's name. So we have Home Alone. Now I know what you're saying. Home Alone, the first Home Alone. Why are you giving a decent movie? Did you find the first Home Alone movie a classic? Well, to be honest, I've seen a lot of classic Christmas movies, and Home Alone. I mean, Home Alone. It's a fun movie. It's There's some heartwarming scenes in it. It's funny, and booby traps that Kevin Macaulay Culkin's character sets the traps for the two red bandits, bad guys, thieves. It's timeless and it's great, but I get the first Home Alone movie 2 out of 3 stars. Oh, I'm sorry. It's about a kid named Kevin, whose parents let him to go on holiday, and they realize that their son Kevin is stuck at home, and he has fun. He has all the house to himself, and that's when the two wet thieves bandits they want to break into his house and steal stuff, but he sets out traps for them. You know, I get the first Home Alone 2 out of 3 stars. It stars Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Donald Stern, Captain O'Hara, John Candy, and John Hurt, the late John Hurt, I should say. 2 out of 3 stars for Home Alone. Um, we have The Rookie. It's an action thriller buddy cop film starring Clint Eastwood, Charlie Sheen, and Raul Julia. The Rookie's about a veteran detective who is signed to a new rookie partner to smoke out the person who killed the veteran detective's old partner, and he must take on this new rookie partner who's a hothead, um, and infiltrate the bag and find the bad guys who shot his old partner. So I get The Rookie 2 out of 3 stars. It stars Clint Eastwood, Charlie Sheen, Raul Julia. The action was great, fun, and the humor was fun. So, what else? We have uh, we have the bonfires of the Fanatis. It's about a man's mistress runs over a teen. A Wall Street hotshot sees his life in the spotlight when he's being, framed for something he didn't do, and and has been and there's this reporter who's obsessed talking to this Wall Street hotshot person. I get the bonfire of the Fanatis 2 out of 3 stars. It stars Tom Hanks, Melanie Griffith, Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman. Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. It's about a boy who's about to be cook and prepared to be for dinner by a modern day witch, but to buy him some time of the woman who's a modern day witch about to cook and eat this boy. He tells her three terrifying stories about skeletons and ghouls and many others. It tells three different stories, I think, and at the end it circles, like it makes all four circle at the end of the movie. Tales from the Dark Side of the movie, I give 2 out of 3 stars. It stars Debbie Harry, or Derbers Harry, of the band Blondie, if I can say that. We have Jillian Morris also in it, Christian Slater, James Woolmar, Ray Don Chow. What is it? Yeah, Ray Don Chon. There we go. William Hickey, Steve Buscemi. I give Tales from the Dark Side of the movie 2 out of 3 stars. We have Days of Thunder, about a young driver named Cole Trucker who is high pressure rolled up NASCAR race of NASCAR racing who has a hot temper and is and to get him in trouble as he comments in the NASCAR racing championship. It stars Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, Robert Duvall, Randy Quaid, Michael Rooker, and Carrie Elwes. I Get Dancing Thunder, 2 out of 3 stars. It's directed by Tony Scott and produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. We have The Grifters. It's about a small time con man is torn between his loyalties between his mother and his girlfriend, both of whom are high stake grifters. It's kind of like who's playing who and who's gonna walk away at the end type of thing. I give The Grifters 2 out of 3 stars. It stars John Cusack, Annette Bening, and Angelica Houston. So 2 out of 3 stars for The Grifters. We have Predator 2. The Predator Hunter comes to Los Angeles. It's about an LA detective who must battle this creature predator type of alien that is hunting, stalking his prey victims throughout the streets of Los Angeles. I thought Predator 2, it had action, it had its moments of suspense scenes. The movie stars Danny Glover, Gary Busey, Ruben Blades, Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator, Maria Conchita Alonso, Robert Davi, Martin Downey Jr., and Calvin Lockhart. Give it 2 out of 3 stars for Predator 2. We have The Rescuers, Down Under, Bianca and Bernard, the 2 little mice from the first Rescuers movie, Disney film Rescuers from the 70s. They're back in this sequel called The Rescuers Down Under. It's about Bianca and Bernard as they must save a younger boy who was kidnapped by an evil poacher, and they go on a mission to save the boy from a mean evil poacher. There we go. I give The Rescuers Down Under 2 out of 3 stars. It stars what is it? It stars Bob Newhart. Starring the voice talents of Bob Newhart, John Candy, Eva Garber, and George C. Scott as the villain poach hunter McClish, I think is the villain's character's name. George C. Scott does the voice of that. 2 out of 3 stars for Rescuers Down Unders. We have Lord of the Flies, about different group of underage and minors of kids of schoolboys are stranded on an island. Then half the boys decide to become crazy and violent, while the other groups must defend themselves from not being attacked by the other group of school kids, while the others are trying to, they're trying to defend themselves. And it's kind of a movie about, kids are on an island, they do crazy things without no adults, supervision, parents. It's a really, at times, there's some hard stuff to watch in the film about it, but it's a very interesting movie concept. I give Lord of the Flies 2 out of 3 stars. It stars Balthazar Getty and James Badge Dale. The Last of the Finest is about 4 LA cops who are fighting the war on drugs as corrupt superiors breaks up the team, with one of their own being shot and killed. The 3 remaining of the finest cops, they decide to take the law in their own hands and smoke out the people who kill one of their own. It stars Brian Denny, Bill Paxton, Jeff Fahey, and Joe Plantiano, known as Joe Pants. That's their nickname, but I call him Joe Plantiano. However you want to call him. I give The Last of the Finest 2 out of 3 stars. Edward Scissorhands is about and it's Edward who lived a solitary life, who was created by an inventor who was his inventor maker, but then when his maker dies, his inventor maker dies and leaves his creator Edward nothing to do by himself in his big house, and he's been taken in by a good family couple. And then at the same time, he falls in love with the family's daughter, and at the same time, the daughter's boyfriend, who's kind of a mean bully, doesn't like that this Edward character sets eyes on the daughter, who is So it's a Tim Burton movie. It's a beautiful movie. It's emotional, um, bittersweet. It is, but it's a very sad movie if you think about it. It stars Johnny Depp as the main title character, Edward, who has hands for scissors. Winona Ryder, Hanty Hall. For the first time, Hanty Hall, one of the Brat Pack kids from the '80s, plays like a mean bully person. I was like, oh, I never see Hanty Hall become a bully in this movie. Wow, he was so mean. So it's the first time for him playing a villain. It was really interesting. Co-starring Alan Arkin and Vincent Price as the inventor who made the Edward character because he was an inventor genius. Vincent Price, if you don't know it. It's a Tim Burton film again. I get Edward Scissorhands, 2 out of 3 stars. We have Wild Orchid. It's about a female lawyer who befriended and memorized by a man who's into sexual fantasies and passion. It's it's a erotic romantic movie, Wild Orchid. It stars Mickey Rourke and Jacqueline Bisset. 2 out of 3 stars for Wild Orchid. King of New York is about a drug kingpin who's been released from prison and trying to make his way on top of becoming famous again. But at the same time, you know his his crime is about to, and a group of local police detectives, they heard about the drug kingpin getting out of prison, so they're going to do everything they can to destroy everything, take away everything that this drug kingpin, has built for himself and his team. And he must, and this drug kingpin, gangster, he seeks vengeance on the people who are coming after him. It's a gritty crime action movie. It stars Christopher Walken, Larry Fishburne before he was Lawrence. He was known as Larry Fishburne at the time. Giancarlo Esposito, Derek Corso, Wesley Snipes, and Steve Buscemi. Oh, and Teresa Randall also is in Kid of New York. 2 out of 3 stars. There are some good action, brutal scenes in it. What else? We have Wild at Heart. It's a bizarre film. It's a David Lynch movie. So whenever you see a David Lynch movie, just be prepared to see bizarre craziness, weird, disturbing characters, that he's created in his movies. It's about 2 lovers who go on a road trip journey, but then one of them and the mother of the girl that the guy takes off in love with, she hires like a bounty, and these 2 lovers, they realize that they're being pursued by randomly crazy characters that they want to, you know, it's kind of hard to explain movie. But it's a David Lynch movie. His movies are kind of weird and very confusing. The movie stars Wild at Heart. The movie stars Nicolas Cage, Laura Dern, Diane Ladd, who was Laura Dern's real life mother, Harry Dean Stanton, William Defoe, who's so different, different, bizarre in the film. It's about Rossellini, Crispin Glover, I should say. I give Wild at Heart 2 out of 3 stars. We have Pump Up the Volume. It's about a man who runs a pirate radio for his basement, and disguising his voice as another person and hiding his regular voice as he sparks up controversy to the other high school kids, and they'll like this guy DJ, and who starts up conversational, and an uprising against the system. It stars Christian Slater. Pump Up the Volume stars Christian Slater and Samantha Mathis. I give Pump Up the Volume 2 out of 3 stars. We have Memphis Belle. Set in World War II in the year 1943, World War II, and it's about a crew of B-17 prepares for its 25th final mission to bombing in Germany. It stars an ensemble cast of Matthew Modine, Sean Astin, Billy Zane, Henry Connick Jr., Eric Stoltz, John Lithgow, David Stratton, and what else? D.B. Sweeney. Um, I give Memphis Belle 2 out of 3 stars. It was good cast. Oh, I forgot to mention Billy Zane was also in the movie. Sean Astin. 2 out of 3 stars for Memphis Belle. And finally, we have one more decent movie of the 90s of the night called Catch Fire. It's about a woman who witnessed a mob assassination and who flees, running to hiding, change her disguises herself, moving from town to town. But then, um, a professional hitman tracks her down, and they start having like a friendship bond towards halfway through the movie. Catch Fire stars Dennis Hopper, who also directed the movie and who stars in it. Dennis Hopper, co-starring Jodie Foster, Joe Pesci, and an uncredited role for some reason, but Joe Pesci's in it. Vincent Price, who's in it, which is cool to see Vincent Price. Tony Cicero, you probably know him from Paulie Walnuts from the Sopranos TV show. He's in the movie Catch Fire. What else? Charlie Sheen pops up in it as well, and John Turturro. I give Catch Fire 2 out of 3 stars. Okay, everybody, that would do it for today's episode 24 of wait a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry. So that's it for episode 23. Okay, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and you'll get new content every episodes every Mondays. So thank you again for watching episode 23 of Sebastian's Movie Game Time. And these films that I listed and a few songs that I talked about before I talked about these movies, I give two of these songs 2 out of 3 stars and one song 3 out of 3 stars. So thank you, and I'll see you at the movies.